and welcome everybody to another edition of the Pierce the Canvas podcast. This is Pierce as always, and we're coming off an episode of AEW Rampage. Today is August 27th, 2021, and we're just inching closer and closer toward the big day, September 5th, All Out. So, this episode here of Rampage showcased a little bit of build-up toward the pay-per-view. Matches that we got Jurassic Express versus the Lucha Brothers, number one contender match to face the Young Bucks in a steel cage at All Out. We also had Ty Conti versus the Bunny, as well as Kenny Omega and Brandon Cutler versus Christian Cage and Frankie Kazarian for the main event. As much as I thought the tag team finals was going to be the main event, it appeared the Kenny and Christian Cage match was the main event. We also got to hear from Miro and got a little preview for the CM Punk Darby Allin match as well. So overall, I would say the show was pretty darn good. The women's match was it was okay. I hate how often I have to say that about AEW, but what can I say? The match wasn't amazing by any stretch. If you can hit the like button and make sure to subscribe as well, that'll help out the channel so much. I would greatly appreciate it. We'll get right into it here. So as I said, the show kind of oddly opened up with Jurassic Express versus Lucha Bros. Again, this is number one contenders match for All Out. And at the beginning of the match, as Young Bucks has been doing throughout this whole tournament, they come out to watch the match. And they also got some shots of Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was in the crowd, who I think after Dynamite this past week was rewarded an AEW championship for winning the NBA Finals. So you know how WWE does that gimmick? They give the NBA Finals winner a WWE championship. However, I heard nothing about that this year. I don't even know if they did that. But here's AEW. They were there for the save, got Giannis' AEW title, so he's there in the crowd sitting with it, and oh my god, they got like 10 shots of him throughout this match, and he's just losing his mind. This really was a fantastic match. This was better than anything from Wednesday Night Dynamite. So Jungle Boy is impressively keeping up with Rey Fenix in the beginning of the match. I think, we've seen Jurassic Express and Lucha Bros a few times, so they're probably a bit more well meshed together at this point. Still an amazing showcasing between those two. Fast action, Jurassic Express lands super kicks to Penta. Jungle Boy lands a tope on Penta. Rey lands a tope on Luchasaurus for one spot. Luchasaurus landed a chokeslam to Penta. Rey landed a spinning kick and a frog splash to Luchasaurus, giving some respect to the legend himself, Eddie Guerrero. And that was a huge near fall. This is one of those times where Giannis was like out of his mind, just blown away. So clearly the guy's like a wrestling fan. Luchasaurus lands a headbutt, tags Jungle Boy, lands a huge clothesline. Jungle Boy also lands a poison Rana for a very close near fall. Jungle Boy lands a Tiger Driver, locks in a snare trap onto Rey Fenix until Penta's able to escape. Penta landed a thrust kick, backbreaker, and a made in Japan, Shingo Takagi's finishing move, also for a near fall. Jungle Boy escapes the Fear Factor finish. He's about to dive on Penta ringside, but Phoenix just comes out of nowhere, running the ropes towards Jungle Boy and lands a Rana onto all four guys being the opponents, as well as Penta and Marco Stunt. Phoenix and Jungle Boy are fighting on the apron at one point, and man, this was cool. Penta's just like running on the apron to save his buddy and lands the craziest destroyer to Jungle Boy. Phoenix is able to hop back into the ring and lands a destroyer of his own to Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus ain't having it though, he kicks out at one. I think the Canadian Destroyer is like the least protected move in all of wrestling at this point. I think we're never ever gonna see somebody win with that move again. For fuck's sake, Luchasaurus kicked out at one, man. It was like ridiculous. So after he kicks out at one, the Lucha Bros get in the ring, they got the advantage, and they proceed to kick the shit out of Luchasaurus' face. Just kick after kick after kick. And they land a combination destroyer for a near fall, pick him right back up. Lucha Brothers land their pile driver finish to Luchasaurus for the win. And so your number one contenders for All Out in the steel cage against the Young Bucks is Lucha Bros. So really excited to see that. Good to see that Lucha Bros are getting a big title shot. Finally, they haven't really been featured predominantly lately over the last few months. However, I don't think they're going to win the titles at All Out. I think they are going to save the titles for Santana and Ortiz. I think that they're going to win the titles in New York, in Arthur Ashe Stadium. Great match. This was absolutely fantastic. There was actually also a post-match attack by the Bucks, but of all people, Marco Stunt came in and the Young Bucks ran away. It's like Lee Johnson all over again from Wednesday. It's like, why are you running away from Marco Stunt, bro? So we get a small look into the upcoming CM Punk versus Darby Allin match. I didn't really like the way that they posed this because they posed it as if we're going to actually hear live from CM Punk and Darby Allin. So in this it was just a video package that was like a minute and a half long, and they just talk about last week's moment, which obviously was amazing. We hear CM Punk say that Darby Allin would have been his favorite wrestler at 15. He said it again in just like some separate interview. And there's just a bunch of talk about how it's one of the most anticipated matches in AEW history. We didn't hear a single thing from Darby Allin, so I can accuse them for false advertising if I wanted to. One other thing that was advertised for today was hearing from Miro, and that we actually did live. So as he walks out, he steals Lance Archer's gimmick and he throws Fuego del Sol onto the stage as soon as he walks out. And he's just kicking him towards the ring and throws him into the ring. Miro tells Fuego that he accepted something he shouldn't have. Miro says he'll forgive him, but first he must reveal his face, and he just rips off his mask with absolutely no... Oh my god. I just took in... I have the wrong cards up right now. Oh shit. That's my first real Botchamania moment, isn't it? I had last week's Dynamite stuff on the screen this whole time. Oops. Well, here you go. Now you know what show we're actually on. My bad, people. My bad. Yeah, so he rips off Fuego del Sol's mask and, he immediately covers his face so we don't really see what he looks like. And this provokes Eddie Kingston, so his music comes on. He comes out. He's teasing that he's about to cut a promo, but then he quickly puts down the mic and heads into the ring and brawls with Miro. Didn't last too long, just landed a couple chops. He got in an exploder as well onto Miro, and then officials broke it up. So yeah, Eddie Kingston versus Miro at All Out. I think it's officially confirmed now. I think from Wednesday it wasn't officially confirmed. Now it is. So next we had Tay Conti versus The Bunny. Tay lands some swinging faceplant knee move, I don't even know what it was. It was kind of cool. Also landed 3 big boots to the corner. And then Penelope Ford came out as Tay was landing her Tay-KO finish, but the camera cut away. It was just kind of a mess. This match also wasn't very good, as I mentioned earlier. So she does land the Tay-KO. I think they just cut to it right on time. And I guess she has another finisher, a DDT kind of finisher she was about to land, but the Bunny escapes. Tay's still able to land a huge kick to Bunny's face. Bunny kind of crawls to the corner and the Blade hands her the brass knuckles. Penelope Ford distracts the referee. Bunny uses the brass knuckles for the win. So yeah. And after the match, Penelope Ford and the Bunny celebrated. So, I don't know, is Penelope Ford going to be in the Hardy office or whatever? I don't know, who cares? This was, it wasn't very good. Whatever, man. I wish there was better women's wrestling in AEW, I really do. There's some amazing women, man, some amazing free agent female talent in the indies, and they're absolutely amazing. They're the farthest thing from green. I don't know why AEW is always picking up these really green female wrestlers. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to just say that the women of AEW are green and the men are not. It's just that they're only hiring green women. They don't have any real amazing talent, other than 3 or 4 people. I could count on one hand the real talented women of AEW. They gotta really start scouting and get something going here, man. I don't even it's still at the point I don't even think that Ruby Riott, Ruby Soho, I don't even think she could save it, man. Because you need more than three good wrestlers to have a good division. You can't just because there's three good wrestlers doesn't mean the division's great. What do we have? Britt Baker. We got Ruby Soho, Thunder Rosa. I'm not gonna say Red Velvet's a good wrestler yet. She's not there yet. Jade Cargill is all right, but I haven't really seen her have a match. You know what I mean? Like, still the Shaq match is like the most, the biggest match that she had, and maybe the best match still. I haven't seen her had like a real match yet. I don't even know, man, but it's kind of a shame. So moving on, we see a preview for Powerhouse Hobbs versus Brian Cage on next week's Dynamite. Shivani talks about how they're basically just both beasts. Taz condemns Powerhouse Hobbs for siding against them. So next we see Mark Henry, and he tells Kenny Omega that he has to defend his title at All Out. So they did the same thing. I think they did, was it last week or whenever? They had like the split screen. On one screen is the heel, the other screen's the babyface. So Mark Henry asks Kenny on his screen if he's ready to defend the title at All Out, and asks if perhaps Christian Cage and Frankie Kazarian will injure him before the match. Kenny and Callis deny that they'll be able to injure him. Kenny says that if he has his way, he'll drop Cage down on his head for a one-winged angel and count 1, 2, 3. So Mark asks Christian Cage and Kaz if they're going to try to injure Kenny before the match at All Out. Cage says anything could happen, but either way, he's taking the world title from Kenny. And so into the match here, Kenny Omega and Brandon Cutler versus Christian Cage and Frankie Kazarian. Kind of funny at the beginning. We just so like the match starts and then they cut the camera to Don Callis and he's like running away basically, like he's at ringside just running away, and the announcers are like, holy shit, Mark Henry, you scared away Don Callis. He was about to come to the announce desk for the match, but you got rid of him, and they're all like, oh, thank you so much. That was kind of funny. So I guess Don Callis ran away from Mark Henry. So Kenny, basically the way the match works is Kenny throws in Cutler to get him beat up, and then whenever Kenny can get a shot in, he gets a shot in, and then once the faces get the upper hand, he throws back in Brandon Cutler. So that happens in the beginning of the match, and Kazarian's just kicking Cutler's ass, and he's able to land his signature leg drop. Nakazawa at one point interferes and hits Kazarian with his laptop while the ref is distracted. Cage gets rid of him, which allows Kenny to do his comeback. Kenny lands a You Can't Escape to Frankie Kazarian for a 2 count. Cutler gets tagged in, starts landing these really silly elbow drops. He's basically like dancing while doing these elbow drops. Cage eventually gets the upper hand and starts doing corner punches. And Kenny sneaks up to attempt a one-winged angel. Cage escapes from the one-winged angel attempt, corners both Cutler and Kenny, and starts punching them both in the face. Cage lands a reverse DDT to Omega, lands one to Cutler, and he's positioning for a spear to Kenny, but he's actually positioning for a spear to Cutler, but Kenny's able to pull Christian Cage down and does the move where they like bash their nuts on the ring post. Christian Cage dodges a V-trigger attempt. Instead, Kenny lands on Cutler. Omega escapes a kill switch and basically just runs away. Cage lands a spear and a kill switch to Brandon Cutler for the win. And so, yeah, there you have it. I guess it was a little more build up to the title match, not the main event, because the real main event, we all know what that is, CM Punk versus Darby Allin. But for the world title match, I guess this was a little more build up for that, so it was fine. I still think that it would have been a cooler close for the show if Jurassic Express and Lucha Bros closed it, but it was still a fantastic opening match as well. And that was the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good show. I just thought the women's match was a bit weak, and I hate that I say that week after week. Like, I really do, because they haven't really had a great match. Maybe since the Red Velvet versus Britt Baker match. Was that even great? I don't even remember that match that much, but whatever. We have what we have. I'm sure Ruby Soho is going to be the Joker or whatever for the Casino Battle Royale. I really hope so. That'll really rev things up and make for some interesting matches that we get to see in the future. So again, though, all in all, I thought it was a good show. I'm really looking forward to the pay-per-view. I'm thinking the card looks pretty strong up till here, and I hope everyone else is looking forward to that. So again, if you could just hit that like button, hit the subscribe. I'll be back on Wednesday to review Dynamite. We'll be back Friday after that, and then of course Sunday, September 5th. We will be back after the pay-per-view to review as well. Thank you so much for coming here for your AEW Rampage coverage. Take care, guys.